Hey guys, we're going to be reacting to this video by a YouTuber named Praveen Mohan. He was recommended to me by a public subscriber / commentator on one of my videos about a few months ago. And he wanted me to check out Praveen Mohan's channel on, different ancient artifacts and different sacred places of Asia. Because you didn't know, Praveen Mohan is a so-called vlog historian who basically visits temples in Asia, Southeast Asia, and other parts of the world. And accordingly, this was a deleted video by him. But for this video, I thought this one was interesting because I've already watched some videos by Lex Will about, Abraham having caves in India. And I wanted to know if this video could be a confirmed indication of Mount Moriah or Jehovah Jireh or Jireh, which is called Jaya Giri, right? I want to see if this place, the Bayon temple, was named by the French, who had, the French colonized Cambodia, right? So they gave a lot of different names for it, and they couldn't pronounce some of the names. But for this video, I theorize, or maybe confirm, it depends, right, of what you guys think, that the Bayon temple, or the Bayon, or the Bayon, which it was called before, and then before that it was called the Jaya Giri, right? And this can give an indication of what the word Jaya really means. But the Bayon temple was basically called the Jaya Giri, and I theorize that temple is the biblical name in Genesis 22:14, Jehovah Jireh, or the translation of Jehovah Jireh, if you go to eSword, you can pull out eSword right now, is H30. Go to Genesis 22:14. Go to the word Jehovah Jireh, right? And then press on Jehovah Jireh, and then you'll see Yehovah Jireh, and then you'll see H3068 and H7200. Then the rest of the words are going to say Jehovah will see to it. Jehovah Jireh, a symbolical name for Mount Moriah. Okay. And then you go to the other translation, it goes to Jehovah, and then Jehovah goes to H1961, Haya, right? Haya. And then H270, Ra'ah. And I believe, I might be wrong, I believe they couldn't pronounce Haya, and that's why they called it Jaya. Or they just couldn't say the word Jehovah, and they said Jaya. And the Yuri, this place might be, but we're going to get to the video now. Let's go.
Strange temple. No, this is not Angkor Wat. Many people think this is part of the Angkor Wat temple, but this is a different...
Which we already theorized that the Angkor Wat could possibly be confirmed as Solomon's temple. I've already posted some videos about that. Let's get back to it.
Temple in Cambodia known as the Bayon temple. A very large temple with many intriguing features. I'm sure you have seen pictures of these mysterious stone faces at least once. But here's the shocker. No documentaries have ever been made about this temple. This is very, very odd, because such a fantastic ancient temple should have plenty of videos and TV programs made about it. But there's nothing. I could not even find a documentary on YouTube. And I found a shocking reason why no documentaries can be aired on any TV channel about this temple. So welcome to the first and only documentary about Bayon temple. According to historians, the Bayon temple was built as a Buddhist temple. These mysterious faces represent Buddha, and it was built around 800 years ago. Even before you enter the Bayon temple, when you are driving towards the gate, you'll see these giant figures lined up on both sides of the road. Who are they? On one side, there are gods called devas, and on the other side, there are demons called asuras. And look at what's in their hands. The body of a giant snake. What are they doing with the serpent? They're churning the sea of milk. But this event is mentioned in ancient Hindu texts, not Buddhist texts. In fact, Buddhists shun features like this. So why does a Buddhist temple have a Hindu depiction outside its gate? When you enter the Bayon temple, you realize it has a very unique visual aspect. It's built completely different from any other temple in the world.
Remember that's the Angkor Wat in Cambodia. They also have another temple called the Bayon temple. Okay, let me go ahead and show you. Located in temple in Siem Reap, Cambodia. Okay, so that's the temple. Let's get back to the video.
A total of 54 towers cramped together, and each tower has multiple smiling faces embedded on them. There are a total of multiple smiling faces.
Now you could say these are, Asians, but when you pull up the Cambodian rapper T. Campbell, right, the so-called, Cambodian, right, looks exactly like the statue. And look at him, right? Looks exactly like the statue. But that's just, let's get back to the clip, yeah.
Pieces embedded on them. There are a total of 216 faces on these towers. The faces may look
216 Negroes / Hamite, if that makes sense.
Small from the ground level, but when you go to the top level, it's just breathtaking. You will become speechless for a...
I have to mention this. I'm not going to make another video, but remember, when they're showing those faces, you can't look at your regular so-called black person. You can't look at like LeBron or Beyond. You can't look at people like that. You have to look at the blacks that have Asian admixture or Asian look. You can't use because they mixed in with Canaanites and Hamites there. But let's get back.
A few seconds, because the giant faces with that mysterious smile give off a strange vibe. Who does this face belong to? Why did ancient builders construct this temple with so many towers with these strange faces embedded on all sides? Archaeologists and historians say that this face depicts Buddha and also the king, Jaya VII, and he wanted to glorify Buddha, and he wanted people to remember him forever. This is why he built this temple, to establish the glory of Buddha and himself, to turn himself into a god king. But this theory is completely wrong. These faces do not depict Buddha or the king. These faces depict a Hindu god Brahma.
And when he's saying Hindu god Brahma, I believe he's talking about the children of Abraham, right? Which are Shem. Because if you look at the face of the statue, it looks like a Negro. But more specifically, a mixed Negro. Right? So, yeah. Or a Hamite that has Negro DNA. So, it don't matter if you say... It don't matter if the person has... So, look. It don't matter if the person has straight hair or afro hair. They are mixed with Negro, and Negroes were there. But let's get back.
these faces depict a Hindu god Brahma. Brahma is the god with 4 heads, not Buddha. This is why every tower
I still need to look into why he has 4 heads, but we can get back to this.
is shown with 4 heads or faces facing 4 different directions. Ancient Hindu texts clearly mention that Brahma should be shown with 4 heads facing 4 different directions. On the other hand, Buddha is actually never shown with 4 faces. Even more interesting, look at the ornaments. He's wearing a spectacular necklace. He wears very ornate eardrops, and he's wearing more jewelry on his head. This is completely against Buddha and Buddhism because Buddha never wears jewelry. He believed in simplicity. Even more important is that giant crown. It's a large conical helmet-like headdress with a crown or a diadem at the top. There is an ancient Sanskrit text called Manasara Silpa Shastra, which clearly explains how Brahma should be carved. And the ancient builders have built Brahma exactly as per this text. Again, Buddha is never shown with a giant headdress and a crown. He's shown with a simple hairdo. But there is another fascinating detail. Look how he's shown with a third eye. Most people think only Shiva has a third eye, but Brahma also has a third eye. This is also mentioned in ancient texts. This means that ancient Cambodian sculptors had thorough knowledge of ancient Hindu texts, and they followed all the details carefully. This is stunning because even ancient Indians omitted these details sometimes. But these guys have beautifully followed it 1,000 miles away from India. But if this is a temple dedicated to God Brahma, why is it called Bayon Temple? What's the meaning of it?
Here's the part we get to, and we're going to pull up the scripture eventually. But just in this is my theory. I mean, this could be wrong, but I think it's legit. Or it could be the people who were there during that temple in Cambodia. They could not the Angkor Wat, but this is the Bayon Temple. They could have been inspired and named it after that. But that could be the place of the Bible. But let's get back.
Of Bayon. When the French occupied Cambodia, they called it the Bayon Temple because it...
Okay, let's look that up. What did the French, or maybe the mixed black French, call the Bayon Temple? And he's going to say it.
It looks like a cluster of towers, and locals mispronounced Bayon as Bayon, and the name stuck. Archaeologists confirm that ancient inscriptions call this temple Jaya Giri. This is
all right. So let's get back to this part. The French called the Bayon Temple, or Temple des Bayons. During the French colonial period, a name derived from the surrounding Bayon trees and the belief that the Buddha attained enlightenment under one, which was later mispronounced to Bayon by restorers, and stuck as the official name. Its original Khmer name was Jaya Giri. Alright? So, yeah. Jaya Giri. And let's get back to this part. What he said.
Actually perfect. Because you know what Jaya means in Sanskrit? It means Brahma. It's one of the names, an epithet of Lord Brahma. And Giri means mountain. So this was built as a mountain of Brahma. And now, when you look at this temple again, it is...
And when you go to type in Abraham, what is it? Oh, say God. Okay, so we type in Abraham Mountain Bible, right? The Abraham Mountain in the Bible refers to Mount Moriah, where God tested Abraham by commanding him to sacrifice his son Isaac. Genesis 22. Abraham named the spot Jehovah Jireh. The Lord will provide, after God intervened, providing a ram as a substitute sacrifice. This location later became the site of Solomon's temple. Huh? Let me calm down. Let me calm down. But didn't we already say that the Angkor Wat was Solomon's temple? Didn't we already say that? Didn't we already say, look, Solomon's temple, right? We already got the. Do I really need to bring the video back up? Hold up, guys. Do I really need to bring the video back up? Come on now. With Angkor Wat, we got a Khmer already finding. I don't know where he got this book from. I'm trying to find this book, saying that this, this is the Solomon's temple, right? They saying this, and then somebody on Google is another Khmer person saying that Isaac Newton's blueprint of Solomon's temple matches the Angkor Wat, right? And check this. Let me show you. There it is. See, and then you have the French guy, naturalist Henry Mowat, saying it was that describing Angkor Wat as a rival to Solomon's temple, right? Let's get back to the video. Well, not video. This part. God told Abraham to take Isaac to a Pacific mountain in the land of Moriah. Abraham, Isaac, and servants traveled for 3 days. Okay, so the conversation, Isaac asked about the lamb for the sacrifice. Abraham replied, God will provide the sheep. The intervention, as Abraham raised the knife, an angel of the Lord stopped him. The provision, a ram caught in a thicket, was offered instead. The name, Abraham called the place Jehovah Jireh, the Lord will provide. Alright. And I'm not on eSword, guys, but wait, what? Can somebody comment of how do I get eSword on Google Chrome, a Chromebook? But because it won't allow me. But let's go ahead and type in Genesis. There's got to be another prompter where I can go look this stuff up. All right. So I'm just trying to show y'all what the H I'm talking about, but it can't really translate everything. All right. So maybe this one. Okay, hold up. Alright, as you see in Genesis 22, right, describes Abraham named the place where God provided a ram instead of his son Isaac, calling it the Lord will provide. Hebrew, Yahweh Yareh. Remember, this Yahweh is translated Ahaya. This word is translated to where is it? Sorry. Now, if you're on eSword, y'all can go on eSword, but if you go on eSword, that word is translated to Ra'ah. Ra'ah. Okay? So, so what I'm saying is, right, so the Bayon temple is most likely the place Abraham was talking about in Genesis 22:14. They just couldn't pronounce the name Jaya or Jehovah, and they called it Jaya. And, Giri would be Giri or Jireh or Ra'ah. And I just want to just check something right quick. Giri, Sanskrit. Just see what this word means. Mountain, hill, or elevated spot. Self appear, behold. I'm trying to look. I'm on eSword right now, but so mountain, hill, Okay, let's go here. Let's go here right quick. Pay, I gotta pay? Oh, about to say no. About to say everything paying now? Okay. Son of Balamara Rama. Well, I'm trying to get to the point, but I might have to just do Control F. But let's see if we can find the word raw. Raw. 1 out of 5. Okay. Now that Giri might not, it might not mean Jireh, but that doesn't mean it doesn't, because but let's get back to the video.
It's a perfect name because it looks like a mountain, and when you look at the four heads everywhere, you are immediately reminded of Brahma.
That's why
everywhere.
That's why, like, let me go back to it.
Means an epithet of Lord Brahma, and Giri means mountain, so this was built as a mountain of Brahma. And now,
so that's why, like, this, I feel like that this place was inspired by Genesis 2:20. Is either inspired by Genesis 22:14, or it is the place of Genesis 22:14, the Yehovah Jireh, or the Bayon, the what they call it, the Jaya Giri. Let's get back.
When you look at this temple again, it is a perfect name because it looks like a mountain, and when you look at the four heads everywhere, you are immediately reminded of Brahma. Archaeology.
The mountains that Abraham named, right? The place Abraham named on a mountain, right? And just to show that Bayon Temple is on a mountain. Yep. The sacred mountain. Let's get back here.
Archaeologists also agree that small shrines for Shiva and Vishnu have been built in the temple, but they have not found a shrine for Brahma. Why? Because this entire temple is dedicated to him, that's why. It's quite surprising that archaeologists and historians think that this is a Buddhist temple dedicated to Buddha, while it is clearly a Hindu temple dedicated to Brahma. What's the reason for this? I attribute this to the French authorities who did not understand much about Hinduism and Buddhism. Also, when the French colonized Cambodia in 1863, Buddhism was the prevalent religion here. So at that time, they must have automatically assumed that this is a Buddhist temple. And another interesting point is that this temple, just like Angkor Wat, was continuously occupied by Buddhist monks for many centuries. They had also created many small-scale Buddhist carvings, and they sometimes even buried statues of Buddha for good luck in the temple premises. And this can be quite confusing for a Western archaeologist while studying the temple, because you're going to see Buddhist carvings and sometimes even unearthed Buddha statues. So you're going to see Buddhist carvings alongside Hindu carvings, and you're going to see Buddha statues standing next to Hindu statues. These key details clearly represent Brahma, the cult of seeing as a that I don't.
Yeah, y'all, that's pretty much all I'm gonna show. Just to keep a recap, this is called the Bayon Temple in Siam, Cambodia, Siam Reap, Cambodia. It was built, I think, before or after the Angkor Wat. The YouTuber discovered that this is a Hindu temple instead of a Buddhist because of the different artifacts that were originally thought to be Buddhist. Because when you go there, you have to listen to everything they say if you want to go visit the temple. And the people who try to find out the secrets, they can't, because they're very strict on trying to keep it Buddha based instead of finding other discoveries like Hindu stuff. And remember, the Bayon Temple used to be called the Bayon Temple by the people there, because the French were trying to pronounce it, so they said Bayon, but it was actually called Banyan. And then before that, it was called the Jaya Giri, and we end up bringing up the Bible saying that the Jaya Giri sounds like Genesis 22:14, which is the Jehovah, or Yahweh, call it Yahweh Jehovah Jireh, or the Haya Jireh. It could be wrong. Remember, this video could be a failure, but I don't think so, because we already found out this was the Solomon's temples. Angkor Wat was kind of connected to Solomon's temple. So, but yeah, that's it, guys.